Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast, the official podcast of filmpulse.net. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode number 180. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we have Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing there, Kevin?
Doing pretty good.
This week, we'll be reviewing Craig Zobel's Z for Zachariah, along with the post-apocalyptic BMX bike spectacular Turbo Kid. Got two post-apocalyptic movies going on this week.
It's all about the post-apocalypse.
Very different. Two very different post-apocalyptic
Completely
movies.
different. Completely.
Of course, we'll also be going over some of what we've been watching. This week's movie predictions, new on video on demand and DVD and Blu-ray releases. If you're watching us on the live stream, welcome. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, so feel free to join in on the conversation. You can type something in the chat or comment on the video, and I'll try to keep an eye on that. Before we jump into our first review, I also wanted to say that we are going to be bringing back the Film Pulse Plays series. This weekend, I did a little test stream with a game that I've been playing called Dead in Bermuda. It's not movie related, but I just wanted to test out how this new YouTube gaming platform works. And it worked out pretty nicely. I just saved the live stream on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it if you want. I just played this game for like 40 minutes or something. It's a pretty cool game, but in the future, what we're going to do is pretty much exclusively stick with movie games. So
makes sense.
I'm going to start off by doing a Let's Play of the Mad Max game that's coming out this Tuesday.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go into it completely cold. So I'm just going to hit record on the stream and jump into the game completely cold. It'll probably be a disaster, and you'll all see how terrible I am at video games.
Oh, it's going to be a train wreck. Everyone loves train wrecks, though.
Yeah. So that should be fun. I'll be playing through probably a lot of the game, actually. So
are you just going to play for like 7 days straight?
No, probably not that long. I'll probably do the first stream. I'll do maybe 3 hours.
Holy shit!
2 or 3 hours.
Damn.
It depends, because I'll probably start the stream midnight when the game unlocks, and I don't know how much I'll play because I don't know how tired I'll be, but we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. Like I said before, I want to continue doing the Film Pulse Plays series because I like doing it. I love video games almost as much as I love movies, and we just had such a hard time with YouTube's content ID system where almost every video we posted was getting flagged for copyright because of including the clips from the movies into the video. And I can't do it like that anymore, unfortunately. So I figured this will be the next closest thing. Actually just play the games and stream them.
There you go.
So all right, let's dive into our first review of the day. I figured we could do Z for Zachariah first.
Let's do it.
This is directed by Craig Zobel, as I mentioned. Is it also written by him? No, it's based on the novel by Robert C. O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a synopsis here. In the wake of a disaster that wipes out most of civilization, two men and a young woman find themselves in an emotionally charged love triangle as the last known survivors. This stars Chiwetel Ejiofor, Chris Pine, and Margot Robbie. Now, I think I'll start this one off because I wrote a review for Turbo Kid, so we'll start with you on that one.
Gotcha.
I was actually pretty excited for Z for Zachariah. For some reason, I just like Craig Zobel. I just like him. I don't know why, because I think I've only ever seen Compliance.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just want to like this guy. And I went into this one being somewhat excited for it. I heard good things, but I gotta say I was pretty let down by this movie. I didn't find much to latch onto. There were some good performances, but at the end of the day, it was just a meh for me.
Old end of the day.
Yeah, I thought that it looked great visually.
Well, I mean, it's New Zealand, so it's gonna look gorgeous.
Yeah,
no matter what.
I thought the overall cinematography was...
Yeah, the cinematography was pretty good. I mean, in all honesty, it's the star of the movie.
Yeah, and I thought that the performances were solid. I mean, everybody here, like Margot Robbie, I haven't seen her in much, so I didn't have much to go on. And I thought she was pretty good in this.
I thought yeah, performances all around were pretty good. But yeah, much like you, it was just a meh for me. It's just, I mean, in all honesty, it just boils down to a love triangle, and like that's all it is.
But it is a love triangle, but it is nowhere near as deep of a love triangle as I expected it to be.
There's
I mean,
no,
they get in and get out with that love triangle business very quickly.
yeah, and it seems like everyone's just kind of everyone knows what's going on with the love triangle. Everyone knows where everyone else stands as far as the love triangles go, which again doesn't make it that very compelling of a love triangle. Because right off the bat, Chitwell's just like, yeah, it's all right. And you're just like, oh, okay. So where's the tension going to come from? And
Yeah.
guess what? No tension ever.
Yeah.
It's just not the whole apocalypse thing. That really doesn't need to be there. The only reason it's there is just to force them into a love triangle and give them that project to work on, which, then it plays into that whole him being a scientist and her daddy's church, but they need the church. But all that's kind of surface level. Everything's just surface level. We don't really go deep into anything at all. And the next thing you know, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And it has that awful grating music throughout.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand that music.
I also did not like the music whatsoever. I just felt like the story was nothing went deep enough for me. There were
Exactly. We don't plumb anything here. Everything's just surface level. Like I said, we really don't get into these characters that much, and you're just kind of spending time with them as they do their thing day in, day out. Which is mostly just watching them farm and drink wine. And Chitwell's a little funny there when he finds his beer. Like, don't try and take his beer away.
Yeah, he gets a little angry drunk there.
He does. It's kind of funny though, at the same time. But yeah, and there's things that happen that just didn't really make sense to me. The progression of things. Like he gets angry drunk and he makes her extremely uncomfortable. And then like the next scene is her coming on to him, which just
I didn't get that at all. Because it seemed like she was not interested in him at all, and then all of a sudden she's putting on makeup and she has that nice sundress and like all this stuff, and she's like courting him almost. And I didn't really get how they got to that point from where they were previously.
Yeah. And then you have later on where she seems to be developing feelings for Loomis, and then split second later, she's doing the nasty with Caleb in the bathroom,
and
you're just like, okay. And then the next day, she's all broken up.
And
about it.
the way that played out seemed kind of spur of the moment too, where it's just like, oh, okay, we're going for that. All right, I see.
And then she's all broken up about it, and it's like, Chitwell told you it was fine. Loomis was okay with it.
All I got to say is, if you want to see this same concept done in a much more entertaining way, watch Last Man on Earth, the show.
There's another one too from I think it was last year, maybe the year before. The
desert?
foreign film, The Desert. Yeah, much better, much better. Or is it just called Desert?
I don't know if it's
Desert.
I'm not sure.
The Desert.
I didn't actually see it. That was one that missed me.
That one's much better.
Yeah. Oh.
There's not much going on here.
Strong performances all around, like we previously said, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling this one.
Yeah, me either. I was very disappointed.
And it felt disappointed. And it's like 93 minutes long or something like that. 95 minutes.
But good Lord, did it feel so much longer.
It's a very paced movie. I mean, it is a very, like you said, just a lot of farming, a lot of long scenes with very little dialogue, which is so disappointing, because the beginning of this movie, when it's just Margot Robbie doing her thing, her day-to-day, I loved all that stuff, like the setup. Everything before she met Ejiofor's character, I was like, oh man, this is great.
Yeah.
There's like no dialogue in this, and it looks looks awesome. Where are they going with this? And I like the concept of there's this,
Oh, it's a very
yeah,
intriguing concept. It's just unfortunately I don't really
the
do
fact that
anything
there's
with
this
it.
one valley that is safe. Like it's been shielded from this nuclear fallout or whatever that's happened.
But you think they would have done a little more with that too? Again, they don't go deep with anything. They bring it up. You kind of have this, you can look at it as like heaven on earth or like the Garden of Eden, some type deal. And there's a little bit of talk of faith because Loomis's character is a scientist. He doesn't really have faith, but the other two, Chris Pine and Robbie, very devout. But again, they outside of having to tear down her dad's church, there's not much. We don't really we don't develop it, we don't explore it outside of surface level stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, I agree with you on that one.
Just a huge disappointment.
One thing that this did do was it get me excited for Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad because she's playing Harley Quinn. And I wasn't sure how that was going to work. But then after seeing this movie, I'm like, okay, she can act. I'm on board.
Should be interesting.
I'm still not sure what she's going to do with the voice, though. Because Harley Quinn has such a distinct voice.
I have no idea what Harley Quinn's voice sounds
Oh,
like.
my God.
I don't even know who
You've
this
never seen
character is.
Batman, the animated series?
No.
As a kid, you never watched that. I'm pretty sure every child of our generation watched that
Well,
show.
yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember that character from that show though. I thought it was like a new show you were talking about. Gotcha. I don't
All
remember
right.
the character. If you want to talk Beetlejuice, the animated series,
No, I don't,
we
actually.
can fucking get into it, dude.
I actually don't want to talk about that. I didn't like that. I loved Beetlejuice, but I never, even as a kid, never liked the animated series.
I was so into that show.
I thought the animation quality was such garbage on that show.
You and your refined taste.
Yeah, I did have very
I
refined
see.
taste in animation back then.
Oh boy.
All right,
What are you gonna rate this Z for Zachariah?
I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
Oh boy. I'm gonna get a 4.5.
All right, there you go.
Just a waste of time.
Z for Zachariah is playing right now in select cities and on VOD, so you can check it out if you'd like. Let's talk about our next movie, which is well, in my opinion, much better at least. We'll see what you think. That's Turbo Kid. This is directed by a filmmaking collective known as RKSS. I'm just going to call them RKSS because I think that I'd probably butcher their actual names. I think they're a Canadian film collective, if I'm not mistaken.
You would butcher the hell out of their names.
I'm sure I would. I have a synopsis here. In a post-apocalyptic wasteland, a comic book fan dons the persona of his favorite hero to save his enthusiastic friend and fight a tyrannical overlord. This stars Monroe Chambers, Lawrence LaBeouf, and Michael Ironside. Now, Kevin, what'd you think of Turbo Kid?
Turbo Kid, fun time. Had myself a blast with some Turbo Kid. Much better than what was that Kung Fury?
Oh yeah, I mentioned
business?
that.
They're kind of going for the same thing, but they do
not.
it so much better.
They are, but they're
Yeah.
not. Like, okay, in my
Well, it has some of that where it's the over the top gore and it has some of those comedic elements and but it's done so much better because they actually capture that where they get that like 80s heart in there,
yeah,
which is what Kung Fury was missing. It was just posing.
right. And I mentioned this in my written review that Kung Fury and some of these other 80s throwback things that they do, they just regurgitate things from the 80s and just constantly slap you in the face with it, like, remember this, remember this, remember this.
Yeah, and it's always done with that, that wink wink.
And
nudge.
they try to make it look like it was an 80s VHS that you're watching or something. And what Turbo Kid shows is that you don't have to do that to make it still feel like a throwback 80s movie. Like,
But it does have a lot of 80s shit in there.
it does, but that's just because in the movie takes place in 1997 and there was some sort of, nuclear fallout again or something happened in the 80s, so they're kind of stuck. It's like Cuba, like Cuba's stuck in the 50s right now. And in this movie,
He was moving out a little bit, branching out.
in this now they are, yeah. In this movie, they're stuck in the 80s pretty much because that's where time stood still. So it makes sense within the context of the story that the gear and stuff that they would have would be from that time period. That being said, they didn't do any bullshit like tracking things or filters or anything or make it look like it was shot on VHS or anything like that in this movie. The movie looks good. It looks high quality.
Yeah, yeah.
And I appreciated that. I appreciated the fact that you can make a movie not look like shit and still have it pay homage to the 80s. Just, just because it is something that's a love letter to the 80s doesn't mean it has to look like shit.
True. Very
and
true.
that was one thing that I really appreciated about this movie. The other thing was going back to what you said, the heart of this movie. There was this charm to this movie that I didn't expect at all. But
it's about friendship.
But when you watch it, you're like, oh my God, like this is kind of a feel-good movie. I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah.
Even though there is so much...
Which is funny because there's that juxtaposition of the feel-good movie and then the excessive amount of gore and bodies exploding and blood just fountains of blood.
Geysers of blood.
Blood geysers everywhere. And just people being horrified because the blood geysers just splashing into their face, directly into their face.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of that going on. A lot of dismemberment.
There's so much dismemberment. Body parts being stacked on top of body parts.
Yeah, that was kind of like the totem pole. It's completely over the top and ridiculous, but it's done in such a fun way that it's silly, but at least to me it wasn't stupid. It was maybe that's not it was kind of stupid, but in a funny way, in a deliberate way. It was deliberately stupid.
It's in a good way. You were having good fun. Good silly fun being had. And I do love because you have so many different elements going on here. You got the Mad Max feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it also kind of feels like what was the Dead End Drive-In? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. The Brian Trenchard Smith movie.
Yeah, it's got that feel. You got the BMX bikes, which I did love. Because everyone rides BMX bike. Which just to me was hilarious. Well, especially they do that the whole chase scene with Raiden, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then there's elements of like over the top because of the arm wrestling for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got all sorts of stuff going on.
And see, that's another thing that they did right. They put in all of these just little Easter eggs, Easter egg references to other 80s movies, but they didn't make it so overt that you're just like, oh Jesus. Like they had the guy with the Raiden hat from Big Trouble in Little China, and they did the arm wrestling from over the top, but it wasn't like, all right.
Yeah, it wasn't in your face. Plus, they put their own spin on it.
Exactly, yeah.
I do like the idea of putting blenders.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's an interesting
flaming
touch.
Blenders.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Well, the flames didn't work too well.
No, but...
That guy didn't get the flames right. Which I imagine would be difficult, though.
Well, you gotta, there's some heavy modding that you'd have to do with those blenders.
Yeah, they break that up, and those blenders are old too.
They looked very old, yeah.
I mean, it's 1997.
Yeah.
It's just, but apparently they work enough to tear a guy's face open.
There was a slap bracelet reference.
Yeah,
that's something I don't know if I've seen in any of these 80s throwback movies, slap bracelet.
You gotta have the slap bracelet in there.
I like the gnome stick.
Yeah, and the jump cuts of her.
Yeah,
her trying out the gnomes.
And now, so that kind of leads me to the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that character. Her name was Apple.
I loved Apple.
What's your name? Apple? Of course it is. When they first introduced her, I was like, oh no, she's gonna be annoying as shit. I'm not gonna like this. But probably 5 minutes after they introduced her, I loved that character, and I just wanted more of her.
Yeah, she wins you over.
And this is a minor spoiler, but she dies like 15 times in this movie and keeps coming back, and I find that to be hilarious too.
And I was bummed out the first time because I didn't know that she was going to die 15 times and come back. So the first time that she dies, I was like, well, damn, her character didn't last long.
Yeah. I think that she was she kind of stole the show for me. She was just a delight. She
Yeah.
was just a delight.
Well, that's where the charm came from. Because then you end up you actually have something to root for.
Yeah.
Because I wanted Turbo Kid to save Apple. I don't know why, but I wanted Turbo Kid to save Apple.
I wanted Turbo Kid to save Apple.
God damn it! I'm rooting for the kid. He's got that power glove, charges up,
Yep.
Mega Man style.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised what the glove did. I wasn't expecting that. That kind of came out of nowhere.
I saw the T is for Turbo short way back, and so I knew where that was going because that was in that the short film version. But
So yeah, when you get to see that first, actually get used,
the
I was
destruction.
just like, yeah, let's use that power glove
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah, I had a great time with this movie. I thought it was just fantastic.
It's
I had a
fun.
great,
It,
you know,
and then for me, it just worked out because I needed a movie like this.
yeah.
Just a fun movie. I just wanted to have a good time, and Turbo Kid delivered.
Now, which one did you see first? Did you see Z for Zachariah first?
I saw Z for Zachariah first.
Yeah, same
and
here.
I was just when I went into Turbo Kid, I was like, just fucking entertain
Yeah, same
me,
here.
please.
I wanted a palate cleanser. I just wanted something fun.
Please
Yeah.
don't. And I was worried going in because I was just like, please don't be Kung Fury. Don't
I
do
was
this to
worried.
me.
I was really worried. Yeah, that it was going to be Kung Fury, and fortunately, it's leaps and bounds above Kung Fury for me.
And I just want to know where did he find his hand? Where did he get that new hand at? Because that seemed complicated. That was an elaborate hand.
I don't know. He's a nomad.
He just picks it up somewhere.
Maybe that was some kind of Army of Darkness reference when Ash gets his
Probably.
metal hand.
More than likely.
It's a
A
pretty
lot of
badass
references.
metal hand, though.
It was pretty.
The things he could do with that.
It was effective. It was definitely effective.
I thought Michael Ironside was a great villain. When would Michael
Oh.
Ironside not be a great villain, honestly?
Never.
Zeus.
I love when Apple teaches Turbo Kid how to fight.
Yep. And then he implements it, and it's like so horrific when he does.
Oh God.
Yeah, I thought the level of gore and violence was great. It was really funny and so over the top and ridiculous.
Just all the close-ups of blood geysers straight into people's faces and their reactions.
You get to see somebody get kicked in the balls, have their jaw ripped off, and then have their jaw stabbed into their own face.
Yeah, that does happen.
So
That does happen. A lot of saw blades going through people, entering and exiting people's bodies.
yeah, I liked the one henchman, the number 2, I guess you would call him, the main goon henchman who didn't talk at all. I thought that he was kind of a badass.
Yeah, he was creepy. I didn't like him.
I liked that.
He scared me.
I liked that you never saw him without the mask, and you never heard him talk either. And
You just saw the eyes behind
Yeah.
the mask.
I was thinking,
Which he made some terrible decisions though. There were so many times where he had the saw blade right in someone's face, and he's trying to like push it into him, and it's like, I've seen you shoot the saw blade.
Yeah,
You can shoot that saw blade. Let's implement that. Come on, you're making terrible decisions with your saw blades.
I like that. I thought about it, and the similarities between this and Mad Max. The fact that everybody's on bikes, and I thought that, like, because the thing in Mad Max is everybody's trying to get gas. Like, everybody's looking for gas, and it's like probably 10 years after what happens in Mad Max, they probably do run out of gas. I mean, we've seen Fury Road. We know how much they're driving around, and
Oh my god, they're burning gas.
those
left and
things
right.
are, that those are gas guzzlers.
Well, that's what I don't understand with Mad Max 2. They're just driving around like when they're not getting gas or when they're not trying to infiltrate the place to get gas. They're just driving around hooting and hollering, burning gas. I mean, let's just be a little more conscientious with our gas consumption.
So,
Okay.
to me, this movie was 10 years down the road when they do run out of gas. How are they going to get around? Duh, BMX
What do you
bikes.
get? Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
Huh. And you can do those sweet tricks.
And it's just going to be hilarious from that point on.
Well, yeah. I wanna-
Fury Road instantly turns into a comedy.
Uh, oh boy.
And the other thing I liked a lot, soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack was,
The soundtrack's
yeah.
fantastic.
I actually want. I don't know if they have the soundtrack that you can buy or download, but I actually want it because it's really good.
Just watch it again because you got that 24-hour window. Get your boombox set up. Tape it.
I could do that. I could.
Just tape it.
Yeah, Turbo Kid, I highly recommend it. It's available now in select cities and on VOD. I saw it on my Xbox. It was actually the first time I ever rented a movie on my Xbox, and it was a good experience. It was really quick. I just hit the rent button. It played. It was HD. No buffering. No bullshit.
I watched it on Vimeo. $4.99
Yeah,
HD quality.
it's
Fuck yeah, Vimeo.
I think it's $6.99 on Xbox. So go the Vimeo route.
See, you gotta shop around.
I didn't know it was
Vimeo.
on Vimeo.
Vimeo. Vimeo is great.
It is. I love Vimeo. I think it's
I love you, Vimeo.
like, I think YouTube is a good player. Like, it's a good video player, but I think Vimeo is still the best. It's the cleanest.
Oh, it's just got that clean look.
Yep, I love it. All right, let's go ahead and give Turbo Kid a score. I actually gave it an 8 out of 10 because comparing it to other movies like it, I think that it's one of the best.
I gotcha. I'm going like a 7.5.
This is a movie that I can't wait to watch it again. I just want to watch it again right now.
I have a feeling that if we watch this like me, you, and Ryan hanging out, that would be like the perfect setting.
I remember Ryan and I watched Hobo with a Shotgun together, and that's very similar to this, where it's over the top, violent, and one of the big differences is it didn't have that same charm to it. I mean, it was obviously a very different movie. It was going for a different vibe, but it's that charm, man. It's that charm, and I love the
80s. Gotta get that 80s charm.
like the thing that surprised me the most, other than that charm, was just the fact that everything looked so good. Like the settings, the environments that they shot in, the production design was just a lot better than I expected.
It's on point.
All right, there you have it. Turbo Kid. Definitely recommend this one. Check it out. Support this RKSS group. I want to see more. Actually, I want to see a Turbo Kid too. I would love to see a sequel to this.
Turbo Man.
Oh.
Turbo Man.
Or maybe he'll just turn into...
Fuck, dude, I just thought
Maybe
that.
he'll just turn into Turbo Rider.
Oh, shit.
Oh, maybe it's
man.
like a prophecy. Maybe the comic books are like a prophecy.
Maybe.
And he's destined to become Turbo Rider.
Oh, he's totally going to become Turbo Rider.
I hope he does, and I hope they make a movie about it. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some of what we've been watching. Kevin, we'll start it with you this week.
Heaven Knows What.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And this is a tough watch.
Yeah.
It's a tough watch. Got that ridiculous realism going on here, which, oh boy,
Almost too real.
it's real. God damn, is it real? I think they're just doing heroin in the movie.
It's pretty.
I'm almost certain they're just doing heroin.
I don't remember. I read in the press notes that we got for this, I read that Caleb Landry Jones, he was one of the few actors in this movie, and apparently when he takes a role, he's one of these people that he just gets into it. Like, he just lets the role wash over him, and he just kind of becomes the character. And they said that he was like taking it to scary levels. They had to actually kind of rein him in because they were worried. They were worried about the path that he was going down with it.
That's yeah, I can
And it
see
shows.
that.
It shows on screen.
It definitely shows on the screen because man, he's his character Vilya is like the scariest villain that I've seen this year, and this is a gritty realist film about heroin, and his character is the one that scares me the most out of all the movies that I've seen this year.
Yeah, he's a scary
especially
dude.
the way that this movie starts off, because it just starts right off with a gut punch after gut punch, more like gut stabs. Really, they're not punches.
Yeah, definitely, you could say that.
Jesus, it's just a rough one to get. Ariel Holmes, oh boy, what a performance! Non-actor. It's her story. So obviously, she knows how to play it, but damn, she shines. And I just find it weird that we have in one year we have a movie with Cage and a movie with Necro.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
I'd like to see this continue. I want to see Aesop Rock in something,
LP.
LP in something. Well, hell, he did that little with the little song for the end credits of Fantastic Four.
Oh, really?
Indie hip hop. Yeah, the indie hip hop scene. Take it over.
I thought Necro did a solid job in that movie, actually.
Yeah, he actually did a fantastic job. I I was quite surprised. Everyone did a fantastic job, and this is one of those like the look of it, the feel of it, because the cinematography is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just outright amazing. I love the score
Oh,
too.
yeah. That scene,
Oh
my favorite
Ooh.
scene in that movie, I think, is the I guess it's a montage where they're dancing.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
love it.
yes. It gets you in there, just gets you pumped up, and it's the closest thing that I've seen. And I hate to compare films and stuff, but the feel of it is like the heyday of American films in the '70s.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it just because it reminded me a lot of the Panic in Needle Park,
It's
but it just has that feel.
it's got that grit. It's got that grit to it.
And there's such a roughness to it that it feels kind of amateurish, but in a good way.
Yeah. It reminds me of like Hopper films.
Yeah, because you don't want the story that you're depicting here. You don't want it to be polished.
You don't want it to
and
be clean, yeah.
And man, it just works.
Yeah, it's
It's definitely affecting.
Yeah.
Tell you that.
well, yeah, I mean, it remains one of my top movies of the year. I thought it was just incredible.
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Check it out.
I think it's definitely going to be in my top whatever number we decide on.
Yeah.
It's going to be in there somewhere.
Heaven knows what. I believe that's on VOD now. I think it comes out on Blu-ray pretty soon. But
Yeah,
you can rent it now, so.
yeah, do that.
Let's see. I saw Straight Outta Compton.
Oh shit, how'd that go?
It went really really well, actually. I'm not huge into biopics. I am a pretty big hip hop fan, actually. So
Are you a big NWA fan?
NWA. Yeah, I guess I like them.
I was always they're okay.
It was one of those weird things where it's like I appreciated them for what they did to the genre, and I thought that some of their songs were okay. I mean, who doesn't like Express Yourself? You know,
Well, yeah.
it's just a fantastic song all around.
I was more into the solo stuff of Eazy-E. I didn't like Dre by himself, and Ice Cube was okay.
Well, I was never a big fan of Chronic or Chronic 2000 or whatever that his second one was.
That took I remember it. Everyone all about Chronic. Everybody loving that shit, just playing it 24/7.
Maybe that's why I don't like it.
That's probably why I didn't.
I actually
like
like Cube's stuff more, his solo stuff
Yeah.
more too.
I would go E then Cube and then Dre, I guess.
Well, the movie actually focuses a lot on Eazy-E because he was technically the owner of Ruthless Records, and it was through him and his relationship with damn it, what's his name? Jerry, the manager. I can't remember his name. Jerry Heller. Their relationship that kind of contributed to Ice Cube leaving the group, and then Dr. Dre leaving to form Death Row with Suge Knight. And it was interesting because I didn't know the whole backstory about NWA. I knew a lot about them, but this movie really fills in a lot of the gaps that I had with how the group got started and their ultimate downfall and all of that stuff. And they handled everything just, first of all, this movie looks great, which was a surprise. I didn't expect it to look this good, cinematography-wise.
Gotcha.
It looks really good. It's a long movie. It's 2.5 hours long. They cover a lot of stuff. I mean, they really cover a lot of what happened from the early days all the way up until, Easy got sick, and they even mention there's a scene where Ice Cube is finishing writing the script for Friday, and they even mention that. So they go up until the early 90s with it, I would say.
Yeah.
And so they cover a lot of material, and it's good. I mean, what else can I say? I recommend it if you're even remotely interested in the history of hip hop or any of these any
I
of these
like
people.
I like and dislike at the same time. The It seems like there's, because after this came out and it did really well, it seems like I'm hearing a lot of news about developments of,
Oh yeah.
like I just read Gangstar biopic in the
Well, yeah,
works
and they're gonna
that DJ Premier's
yeah,
working
and
on.
apparently they're working on a pseudo sequel to this that's gonna pick up where this one left off. And none of that. As soon as I read that, I'm like, oh man, there's gonna be a million of these now, and they're all gonna be
Yeah.
bad.
Hopefully not. Hopefully some of them are good.
Oh, hopefully,
I mean, they're not all going to be good, but hopefully, like I would like a Wu Tang
I
one.
would love a Wu
Can we
Tang one.
get a Wu Tang
Oh my
one?
god! You know what I was
That
thinking
would be
about?
insane.
You know, with these music biopics, why haven't we seen a Michael Jackson one yet? Where's that? I think that would
Yeah,
be an
that's true.
interesting biopic.
I don't know if anyone wants to touch that.
It'll happen someday.
Oh yeah, it
Someday
will.
it'll happen. Uh, like everyone else has been talking about, all of the actors that played these characters, they all did a fantastic job. The guy that played Eazy-E nailed it. Obviously, Ice Cube's son nails playing his dad. The guy that played Dre did a really good job too. The two a guy played Tupac in this and he was okay, and a guy played Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was probably the least believable out of all of
Oh,
them, and
really?
it's just because Snoop Dogg is such a distinct character. He has such a distinct look and voice that I think
Yeah.
it's nearly impossible to mimic that. So, but
Does
he's not in it very much though.
is Dell in it?
I don't think so.
Ah, bummer.
No, I don't think so. Unless, I mean, there's a lot of people kind of in the background, like in the periphery,
Yeah.
when they're in the studio, which is some of the best scenes are when they're actually recording in the studio and just kind of how it plays out. And I don't know how much of this really happened the way that it did in the movie, and I'm sure that there's things that are missing and embellished and all of that, but
Oh, I'm sure.
all that aside, it's still a good movie, and the fact that they put in a lot of, I mean, it's sort of a politically charged movie too. They put in a lot about the L.A. riots, and as a result of the Rodney King verdict and all of that stuff, and so there is this a lot of political undertones to it too, and just how they were constantly treated. Because if you remember back when gangster rap first started becoming a thing, these artists were ostracized for what they were doing. Their music was banned. They were arrested in Detroit for playing "Fuck the Police," and so you get to see some of that kind of prejudice that came out of it as well. So
Yeah.
I recommend it. Straight Outta Compton.
I'm gonna have to check it out when it comes around.
Yeah, definitely.
Gonna have to check it. This is one that I forgot to talk about last week, but I saw a Tangerines.
Not to be confused with
The-
Tangerine.
Correct. This one was nominated for an Oscar. The first Estonian film to be nominated for an Oscar. It's like a Georgia slash Estonia production type thing going on here. About these Estonian men that live in Russia or live in Georgia. War breaks out. They don't leave. The one neighbor's trying to help the other guy get his tangerine crop, trying to harvest that. Just looking for help, trying to get these tangerines.
Hit those tangerines.
Gotta get them tangerines, man. You can't let them go to waste. And there's a little skirmish in between their two houses with some soldiers, and they save two guys, one from each side, and then it's nursing them back to health, and then them giving their word that they're not going to kill each other inside this guy's house. And this guy looks like Michael Haneke, which was interesting. And then one of the soldiers looks like a beefed up H. John Benjamin, which was interesting because that's all I could think of while I was watching it.
Bob's
So
Burgers.
sorry about that. Yes, sorry about that, Tangerines. That was my fault. But it's a good little movie. I mean, it's not anything, that's special. I want to say, it's just a good anti-war film. You've seen a number of them. If you've seen a couple, you know exactly where it's going to go and how it's going to play
Hmm.
out. But it's just a good enjoyable time. Not a lot to say on it though. You know, everything's good. The performances are good. The cinematography's pretty good. The script's fine. It's an alright movie. It's like a 7. I'd say like just a little bit above a meh.
Okay, and that's Tangerines. Where'd you see this one?
I got this one on DVD from Netflix.
DVD for Netflix.
Yeah.
I saw Entertainment, directed by Rick Alverson.
Let's skip that and just go on to something else because you're just rubbing it into my face.
Well, I saw it this week, and I figured I should mention it.
How
I
was it?
won't talk a lot about it because I imagine that we will be reviewing this on the show.
You're damn right we're going to.
I will say that I liked it more than, was it the comedy?
Yeah.
I always forget if it's the comedy or the comedian. Anyway, I liked it more than that, and I liked the comedy quite a bit. So I like this movie a lot. It is probably the most depressing comedy I've ever seen. One of the. It's like Rick Alverson is the only director that can make me need a palate cleanser after watching a comedy. He makes the saddest comedies ever. But it's so if you're familiar with Greg Turkington and his character of Neil Hamburger, basically it's a Neil Hamburger movie.
Yeah.
And Ty Sheridan's in it. He's in it more than I expected, actually, because basically Neil Hamburger is on this comedy tour out in the desert in California, and Ty Sheridan is another comedian with him on this tour, and
Okay. I love the sound of that.
it's just the saddest road trip ever. And at the beginning of the tour, he's already pretty down on himself. He's already pretty down, but by the end, he's just a broken man. He's just, each stop, he gets progressively more depressed and just starts to lose it. He just starts to lose his shit. And there are some things that happen in this movie that are genuinely shocking. There's one thing in particular that happens that you're just like, oh my God. They just, what? Oh my God. So needless to say, this gets very dark. And it's got some nice cameos in it. Tim Heidecker is in it for a minute. Michael Cera's in it and plays this really, really creepy dude.
He's getting really. He has an unbelievable ability of playing.
Yeah, I think he realizes that he can kind
I
of,
think a lot of people realize
that he can play. There's, what was that movie that came out like last year? They made both movies back to back.
Oh, it was the. Oh my God! What the hell are they called? One with the cactus.
Yeah,
and
one
some
was
with
the cactus one, but the other one, I can't remember the name of the other one.
Trying to go to
But he was
real quick. Magic.
yes, magic. He was so creepy in that. He's very creepy in this too. He's only in it for one scene, but Amy Seimetz is in it too. John C. Reilly plays his cousin, and he's like this kind of rich. I don't know if he's I think they say it in the movie. I don't know if he's like an oil guy, but he owns all this land. He owns this like giant parcel of land, and he's
It's always good to have those parcels.
yeah, he spends a decent amount of time with John C. Reilly too, who's pretty funny in it. In one scene, you see it in the trailer. In one scene, he gets drunk and essentially does his Steve Brule voice, which is pretty funny.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a film that is certainly going to, a lot of people are not going to like it, just flat out, just because of the tone and the style of what it is. A lot of people are just going to hate this movie, I think, but I loved it. It's right up my alley. It's right up your alley too. So
This is one of my one of my most anticipated films of the year.
it looks gorgeous too, by the way.
I can't wait to see it.
It looks gorgeous. A lot of the, because it goes to some pretty surreal, kind of weird places, and the way that it's shot looks incredible. So yeah, Entertainment. Keep a lookout for that. I cannot remember when this is coming out.
Not soon enough.
I'm looking it up. November
Look it up.
13th. It's coming out.
Oh my God! For my
So
birth.
you got a little ways to go with that one, but
That's my birthday present right there.
yeah, there you go.
Gonna watch some Entertainment. I watched. I think you watched this as well. How the Sky Will
I did.
Melt.
Yeah.
from Matthew Wade.
Do a little mini review on it.
Little mini review. This is going to be premiering on nobudge.com on September 1st. As of right now, I think you can go to howtheskywillmelt.com and buy it. I think for like $5 or pay whatever you want. One of
I
those
love
type of
those.
deals.
I love those.
Yeah, I like that. And so let's just get the first bit over with. Super 8. It's Super 8 movie.
Yeah.
It's a feature length filmed on Super 8 millimeter. So it has a very distinctive look, and that look is amazing.
It's a look that I haven't seen in a long time, actually.
It's so long. Oh my god. But not only that, the narrative that we're working with here blends perfectly with Super 8.
Oh yeah.
Like, it makes complete sense that this movie was made. You know, it's not this like, hey, I made a movie in Super 8, and then you watch it and you're like, well, there's really no reason that this
Why
should
does
be
it
in
look
Super
like
8.
this?
It's just kind of like a novelty type thing. But it makes sense here. And they work so well together. And it grows increasingly perplexing as it travels through whatever the hell's going on in this movie, which I'm not 100% sure what's going on.
Let me just, before I give any thoughts on this, I need to throw out a disclaimer. I put this on my dad and
please tell me you watched this with
No,
your
I didn't.
dad.
No, I didn't. But I was preparing for him to come visit this weekend. So I was like, "Oh, I'll put this on while I clean." And I'll watch it while I clean. That was a mistake because this movie, I had no fucking clue what was happening in this movie. From the beginning, I was like, what? There's colored eggs and something wants to eat your color, and there's these bottles that have color, and then there's sacrifices that need to be made, and a Viewmaster, and like, I was just...
Yeah, that Viewmaster, man.
That was a high quality one.
That is something. Just the look of the Viewmaster and the smoke and the music. Which, okay, let's do this. Okay, this is a first-time filmmaker named Matthew Wade. So he does the writing. He does some of the cinematography. Obviously does the directing. He did the editing. He provided the music for this as well. He did the special effects makeup. He did essentially like everything. And apparently this took him like 3 years to make because it's on Super 8.
Yeah.
And I love the music. It really, everything just worked together for me.
It's an impressive debut for sure. I mean,
it's just, there's so much fucking creativity in this thing, which is what I love. And just the amount of risk taken, for your first feature to be on Super 8 and just to go through all that work.
Mm-hmm.
And then for it to be this out there.
It actually kind of reminded me of like the Oregonian or something like that. Something that
Yeah,
Calvin Lee
it
Reeder
does
would
kind of
make.
feel like that. Because as the movie goes on, there's numerous spots where it kind of gives you this hint of like, okay, we're going to explain things now. We're going to wrap it up. But it just gets weirder and gets more confusing and more mysterious.
It seems like is the story told out of order? Because
that's the thing. Like, you can't tell.
the end is
the
end is definitely the beginning. When they're at the pool, that's definitely how it starts.
But then you have this girl goes back home. She's like a famous musician or something. She goes back home because her friend died, and she's just trying to find something, I guess. But nostalgia, I guess, to make her feel better. But you don't even know if all of that is real because it's intercut with just images of her just laying in bed in an empty house and watching TV and eating popcorn.
I loved that scene at the beginning when they show her sitting down eating the popcorn and then they reverse it.
Yes.
It was a little thing, but I was like, oh, that looks awesome.
Plus all the cinematography in the I don't know where they shot this, but the rocky terrain,
yeah,
where they find the eggs and the case with the bottles that have colored liquid in it. All of that was just amazing. Just looked gorgeous. And then it got really creepy with the feed me your colors thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, honestly, that unnerved me.
Yeah.
Because it kind of came out of nowhere and his voice is all distorted and I was just creeped out. Because I don't know what the fuck it means, but it can't be good, obviously.
Let me read the synopsis. Maybe this will shed some light for the people.
It's not going to help.
For the people listening that maybe they can decide. Gwen, a musician with a growing paranoia disorder, returns to her hometown after a traumatic event. diverting their emotional issues with a strange and unholy discovery, she and her friends begin to deteriorate the fabric of the universe.
So, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack. It seems very, it has a fetish for colors and consumption. There's a lot of close-ups of people eating or intaking audio or visuals. It's just, there's a lot going on in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it is being a first feature.
It's a little rough around there.
The acting is shit in it. It's
I thought the main actress Sarah Lynch, which she provides a lot. She did all the hair and makeup and a bunch of other things. I thought that she got better. I don't know if it was filmed like in chronological order, with the scenes and stuff, because it was odd because it felt like she was getting better as the movie went on.
Yeah, maybe.
But I thought she did a good job. But yeah, you're right. Everyone else is kind of it's rough. It's rough.
But that's to be expected with the debut, and it doesn't detract.
It doesn't distract that much. Yeah, and it kind of plays into what you have going on here, anyways. The aesthetic, because it has this like '80s feel to it. It feels like it takes place in the '80s because you have the feathered earrings and the leather jackets and the '80s type music.
Mm-hmm.
So everything everything works wonderfully in concert, I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
And enjoyed myself.
I mean, it's going to be free on No Budge, so I give it a look.
There's
nothing to lose.
Yeah, stakes are low.
And I
definitely recommend.
Yeah, and that's called How the Sky Will Melt. So check that
out.
But
they did not answer that question. I have no idea how the sky will melt.
I don't know either.
But I have a feeling it has something to do with painted eggs,
speckled eggs,
viewfinders, elaborate viewfinders, or rainbow cakes. I don't know. Something.
Eating popcorn with your mouth open, which was gross.
Orange.
Oh my god, I loved. I'm so glad you reminded me of that scene. I loved it. The orange. Oh, the orange.
That it's called drinking juice.
Oh, I loved it. I think that was my favorite part, is the ad for orange. Oh, that was hilarious. All right. The only other thing that I saw was Digging for Fire, the new Joe Swanberg movie.
And how was this?
It's good.
I have a feeling I know exactly how it was.
It was exactly what we said, because we were talking about reviewing this on the show this week, and ultimately we decided not to because we figured that it would be the same comments that we have for every Swanberg movie, and that's exactly what it was. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with this movie, but he's just playing with the same themes that he's always playing with. Jake Johnson and Rosemary DeWitt are a married couple. They have a young son who's played by Jude Swanberg, of course, and Rosemary DeWitt and their son kind of go away for a couple days to visit their grandma, and during this time, Jake Johnson has a bunch of his friends over, and there's like he develops this kind of almost romantic entanglement with Brie Larson, and then Rosemary DeWitt kind of gets in this romantic entanglement with Orlando Bloom. It's just it's kind of stuff that we've seen from Swanberg before. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the dialogue's great. It has that kind of natural, unscripted feel to it, like most of his movies. It's loaded with great characters: Sam Rockwell, Jenny Slate, Ron Livingston, Chris Messina, Melanie Linsky's in there. A lot of Swanberg vets are in here. Anna Kendrick, Sam Elliott's in there too.
Sam Elliott?
Yeah, Sam Elliott.
Okay.
Sam Elliott. He plays Rosemary DeWitt's stepfather, and he's great in it. He gives him some time to speak his wisdom, his Sam Elliott wisdom.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because it starts off like The Burbs, and I was so excited because I was like, oh man, this is like The Burbs. Because what happens is Jake Johnson and Rosemary DeWitt are staying at, I think it's a friend's. They're like house sitting for a friend, and he ends up finding a human bone, and he starts digging to see if he can find more. And then she leaves, and he has to do taxes. Like he needs to spend the weekend doing their taxes. So she leaves with their son, and of course He just focuses on trying to find more bones.
What wouldn't you? I mean, if you know.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Taxes or digging up human remains? Come on.
Easy.
So it kind of,
Easy.
at first, it was the setup was like the Burbs, essentially. And I was like kind of excited for that. And he gets kind of obsessed with trying to uncover more things. And the interesting thing is he does uncover more things. He finds a gun, he finds more bones, and the way that it ends, it's got a very, very satisfying ending. Swanberg ties everything up very nicely and satisfyingly. And like most of his movies, it's a feel-good movie. It makes you feel good by the end because the characters ultimately make the right decision.
Gotcha.
And
does he end up finding fire? Is that what happens?
Well, I think the whole... Well, maybe. I don't know. My assumption with the digging for fire is kind of like the fact that they're kind of flirting with... They're putting themselves in a position to possibly cheat on their spouse.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, I enjoyed it. It's not amazing by any stretch, but I recommend checking it out. It's on VOD, so you can just rent it. So.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and move on to some predictions. Last week, No Escape. You said 30, or no, you said 30. I said 36. Actual 40.
Okay.
We have a review for this up on... Or no, we don't. Never mind. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the other one. I was thinking of We're Your Friends. We have a review for that up on the site. Blake liked that one. Queen of Earth. I said 86. You said 82. Actual 96. Wow. 96 on that one.
Wow.
People are loving the Queen of Earth.
It's not that good. Come on, people.
Yeah, I agree, actually. All right. Next week we have... kind of another barren week, really.
All right.
We're getting to the end of summer here, so all the big blockbusters are winding down. I don't think there are anymore, actually.
Probably not.
Transporter refueled.
Oh, thank goodness. It's about time we refuel this one.
I'm gonna say 16.
I'm gonna say 12.
Something to
It does it. Have you seen anything?
I
for
think I
this?
saw one trailer, maybe.
And it looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks really bad. Next week, I'm pretty sure that's the only wide release next week. So in limited release, we have Dragon Blade, which is a Jackie Chan movie, I believe.
That sounds good.
Breakpoint, which is a tennis comedy.
Okay.
That actually doesn't look horrible. Dirty Weekend, which is the Neil LaBute one with Matthew Broderick.
Broderick?
Yeah, Broderick.
Okay.
Broderick back for a Dirty Weekend.
Oh, shit.
Before we go, that's the Chris Evans one, I think, right?
Yeah.
That one doesn't look great to me. Blind?
That's supposed to be really
Yeah, I heard good things about that one.
I'm looking forward to
Steve
that
Jobs, The Man in the Machine. I think that's a Gibney doc.
Probably.
Any documentary about a high-profile person is just automatically going to be a Gibney doc.
You could pretty much just say, I think it's a Gibney, and it's like a 50-50 chance that you're correct.
Quick plug, documentary now on IFC. Check that out. It's amazing. If you're into...
Nothing's coming out. Just watch that and have a Skyball melt this week. There you go.
If you're a fan of documentaries, you will have an enormous appreciation for documentary. Now, they actually pushed this week's episode back because of that shooting, the live on-air shooting that happened earlier this week.
Yeah. They
pushed it back. I think that this week's episode was supposed to be the Thin Blue Line parody. Maybe not. It might have been another one, but I think that's the one. We also have A Reason.
Okay.
I'm actually not sure what that one is.
I don't either.
Next week on VOD, we have Run, Hide, Die. Mm-hmm. Sounds like that didn't work out for the person. They ran and they hid and they still died.
That's kind of a spoiler, isn't it?
Yeah. Dragon Blade.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Blood-sucking bastards.
I just love the idea of dragon blades.
Sorry, what?
I just love the idea of dragon blades.
Dragon blades. It looks like a wire-fu style. Yeah. I'm actually not in. For some reason, those just got played out after Crouching Tiger.
Yeah. But this one has John Cusack and Adrian Brody.
Oh God.
So
Is that the Jackie Chan one, or was I mistaken?
no, it's Jackie Chan,
Okay.
and it takes place during the Han Dynasty. So it's John Cusack playing a Roman general.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Daniel Lee apparently.
Jeez.
He's the director and he wrote it.
God.
Also has Shawnee Vincent in it.
That's like the one that came out. I don't know if it was this year or last year. The one that had Nicolas Cage and Hayden Christensen in it. Oh Jesus! Bad casting, guys. Come on. Bloodsucking Bastards. This is a horror comedy with Fran Kranz.
Okay.
I'll be checking that one out. It looks decent.
Of course.
Looks like it could be a bit of fun. Dirty Weekend and Chloe and Theo.
Okay. All right.
Next week on Blu-ray, Mad Max Fury Road. Obviously, come on. No
Yes.
brainer.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
buy the damn thing. I got it on digital HD, and I think I'm still gonna buy it on Blu-ray just to see what. Actually, I have to look and see what the special features are. If they have a making of, I'm in. Boulevard, that's the Robin Williams one that I don't recommend. Backcountry, do
Yes.
recommend that one.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, Army of Frankensteins, not to be mistaken with Frankenstein's Army. It came out a few years ago.
Just regurgitating these titles, aren't we?
That looks like it could be an Asylum type release.
I'm
The
sure.
D Train, that looked so
Yeah.
bad.
It looked awful, didn't it?
And the cover looks terrible. Just ugh.
It looks as though they gave up halfway through that. Like the marketing and everything. They're just like, forget it.
Good Kill, that's the one with Ethan Hawke where he plays the drone pilot.
Yeah.
That was disappointing. It had a really good premise, but it just ultimately didn't work out. The Curse of Downers Grove, Bessie, that's the HBO one with Queen Latifah.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got here. Dark Was the Night. It's a horror movie. The Redeemer. I heard good things about that. Actually, we have a screener for that, so I'll be taking a look at that one. That's a action movie, the martial arts movie. But I think it's a Spanish martial arts movie, so
What?
yeah, kind of interesting. Gemma Bovary, 7 minutes. Do not recommend 7 minutes. Let's see. That's pretty much it.
Okay. To get that Mad Max.
Oh, The Harvest. That's the one with Michael Shannon. The horror movie. I was interested in that.
Oh, I'm interested in that one as well. Samantha Morton too.
What do we got on Criterion? Anything on Criterion?
There is no Criterions.
No Criterions. All right.
No, none.
All right.
Uh-uh.
Well, in that case, that'll do it. Send us your questions.
Okay.
Podcast@filmpulse.net is the address. Follow us on Twitter @filmpulsenet and @filmpulsekevin. And take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/filmpulse. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, all of that. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you on Thursday for Ryan Watches a Movie.